Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm going to be making a Ken fundamental video here, and I'm going to break down the Oki setups that you need to be looking for and how to practice and how to get better for Ken. I'm going to give you some basic examples on what you can do, and then also there's things to look for when you go for other routes. So the first thing you should always set is save status. Okay, set your save status first, just by going to replay, save status, or save status right here. This will be in the basic settings, and then after you save your status, you hit replay save status, and you can set it to a shortcut through shortcut settings for L3, R3 buttons. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to start in the corner. Start in the corner, then set the computer or the dummy to no guard, but wake up option to be a 3-frame jab. I already have it set, but we'll go over it. So just press the light punch, so it says reversal. When it says reversal, that's how you know you did it right. And then go on and set it to on. And then for we're going to isolate this training, so you'll set it to recovery on normal. Okay. So what you want to do, your basic exercise here, is just go into a normal target combo, into V skill, DP, heavy DP. Go straight into overhead. And I'll show you here in this example. Alright, so it said +6, and that hit deep. So that's good to know, because if, say, your opponent did try to check you, you will get +6. Now normally you'll get a +4 if they don't press anything. Because it's counter hit, you get +2 additional frames. So keep that in mind. So your options from there are this. You can do another DP, do light tatsu into DP, or you can do target combo if it's on counter hit. Crouching medium punch into heavy tatsu, or you can go option you can do also medium tatsu. Now that's what I want to talk about here. So if your opponent always quick rises, you could put them through that loop if you really wanted to. But the idea here is to mix up your opponent with the step kick. You want to mix them up with this. This is really powerful, because you can go slow or go high, right? Or even grab. So that's the idea of playing as Ken. That's how you become more powerful, by mixing up your opponent. So we can look at some options here, and this is the exercise that you want to kind of do. You want to mix in between those options. So and you see right there, I mixed up. I went high, but then I went low, because when you do heavy tatsu, it does more damage, does a lot of carry, corner carry, but the thing is, you don't get much Oki off of it unless your opponent back rolls. If they back roll, then you can go for another overhead setup. But because we're strictly talking about quick rise, you don't get the Oki, so you have to go for a quick low. Now we can kind of change this by, you know, swapping out which tatsu we want to use. Usually if you use light or medium, you can usually get a step kick in. So let's do that. See? Just by switching to medium, now I can do step kick. And you can also mix it up. Highly encourage this as well. Right there. So that's one way of kind of exercising the high and the low. You know, those are the options you have. You can mess with. Now you can do other stuff like this. So you can do stuff like that. You know, you can mix up your Oki setups there. You know, incorporate even the hard punch. The hard punch is good because you get a crush counter. So, you know, that's one exercise of how you can mix up for quick rise. Now, let's say if your opponent is back rising, right? If we're going to deal with back rise, we're going to go to the menu, dummy settings, go to recovery, go to back recovery. Alright, so what I want to go over with back recovery is that now, back recovery is not going to necessarily give you the best Oki, as you saw there. Now you get the best Oki here, right? But you're going to have to like sacrifice some Oki, some damage for Oki if you feel like they're going to back recover, right? And now a lot of times you don't have to worry about it. If say you're in the corner, it just becomes a timing thing. You look at when they hit the ground. When they hit the ground and when they recover. That's all you have to do for the corner. But when it comes to back recover, this is where incorporating the heavy tatsu can be a good thing. So you'll do this, so you now have more time. See? Target combo, step kick, tatsu. See? I have Oki there. See? You can now frame trap. That's the great thing about it. You can frame trap if they try to back roll, especially if they're trying to backdash, because we can set that to we can set that up right now. Yeah, right there, backdash. Right. So especially when they're backdashing, you have an option, especially if they're trying to get away, right? Say you go for this, get this, tatsu, right? But then you're going to try to get away. You want to just trap them. See that? Because he was trying to backdash. Yeah, so this is the sequence we're going to practice. Overhead, standing hard kick. Then you pretty much have them this time. So that's the sequence that you should work on. But then, you know, if you need to switch it up, that's the base one, right? That's the base one. Obviously this, you know, whenever they're backdashing, it's not going to connect, right? If they're crouching, it'll connect. So, incorporate the low mix-up. You know, you don't have to go for, you don't have to always go for the overhead. So switch it up, you know, use that as your exercise. So your exercise will be that's one exercise. Then the other one right, that'll be your second exercise. So those two will be a good starting point. So then you understand what you need to do for both back recovery and quick rise, because both of them are, you know, fundamentally different. Because, you know, back rise is just for creating more space. Quick rise is to kind of catch your opponent when they're trying to, you know, close in on Oki. So that's why a lot of times you see people dash twice because they think they're trying to get away, you know. But if quick rise, a lot of times you can interrupt. So those are the Oki options. Obviously in the corner doesn't require much timing for it, just because you are actually, you know, you can do it. You know, there's no space that gets created because they're already in the corner. They're already close to you. So that's what you need to practice on for that. Okay. Now, my next part, what I want to talk about is when people jump. When people are jumping, this is very important. When people are jumping, this needs to be a habit, because this is how you stay plus. Stay +3. You want to be able to do this, which is just pressing the button and immediately pressing charge. B skill. That has to be almost like an instinctual habit. Now the thing about this, yes, you'll get Oki, you get better Oki, versus if you just do this, you know what I mean? You don't get anything out really out of it. You know, you close the gap a little bit, but they can still walk back. Alright? Compared to, like, say you do DP. See, now you can do this. See the difference between the two. See the difference between the two. This doesn't give me it. Because I can maybe do this into sweep, maybe, you know, for walking back. I can maybe do that. Or I can do... See, that's a frame trap. But you could potentially get more damage. Shimmy. Oh yeah, so this needs to be incorporated into your training. So this is what you should practice. Have the dummy set. Just constantly do this. Maybe you want to practice DP into CA. You know, a lot of times that will close out a match. You know, these are the things you want to exercise. Or I always recommend when you want to activate the V-Tigger. This is why you do this. You know? Sometimes you don't need to use all your V-Tiggers, you know? Especially if you don't have enough health to even gain another V-Tigger. You may be able to close out the match just because you've got that extra that extra part of your V-Trigger you haven't used. And that's management, by the way. That's managing your meter. Look how many times I'll be able to do this. 3 times. You know, if they decide to throw a fireball, I can potentially always have an answer for it, right? So that's why you want to practice this, right? Practice DP, and if not DP, crouching hard punch into charge V skill. Now, another thing I want to go over real quick is medium kick also. Medium kick is another good anti-air that you can do as well, and especially if they try to jump over or jump towards you. A lot of times, because he moves forward slightly, see how much he moves. You can actually have your opponent fall behind you, making them think that they're gonna hit you. I'll give you an example. See the anti-airs? Sometimes, see that? Catch them unexpectedly. And go for pressure. So instead of always going for that crouching hard punch, that make them quit. Okay. Or go for the air reset, hard punch. Hard punch, shimmy, hard punch. Or jump. Or overhead. That's how you want to use your anti-airs. Use them, you know, they're very situational at times. But that's how you want to incorporate those 3. Specifically those 3 types of anti-airs. Good way to practice that I just showed you. Use them in the match. Don't just focus on one anti-air. You know, crouching hard punch is really good, but at times it can be unreliable as well. So don't always feel like this is going to be your go-to for everything, because the answer a lot of times to crouching hard punch is actually just empty jump. So this can be used against you, and this has recovery frame, you know, versus this. So I recover a lot faster. So, and you move slightly forward, you know, so if they're trying to jump in on you, maybe you can use it against them, you know, instead of just resetting the situation, you know. So, but if you do have to rely on this, highly advise using the V skill, because you will be plus. You will always be plus. Now, another thing, using the V skill properly is another one. When you get this fully charged, you're +4. So that means you can always do a standing light punch into standing light kick. So you want to practice this. This is what you want to exercise. Now, say, you know, that's, and this is where you can, you know, invite a layer of a mix here, you know. Say they do block it, right? They do block. Start off, right? I'm gonna have the computer actually. Most time though, if you do this, they will grab you, by the way. If you don't charge it, let me just go over the things to look out for first. So if you just do it raw, right? They will grab you. So you need to always, because you're plus, he's +2 and you're -2 in that, right? But if you fully charge it, you can always get a counter hit or frame trap. So that's why you want to like incorporate this, you know, do like maybe like do a little far further away, when you're doing it to see what they press. You know, because sometimes you get frame trapping that way too. So be careful when you're using it very up close, because they can just grab you -2. You'll have the tech. So practice this as well, so that you know that you're not going to get grabbed. And then practice in this, understanding your safe distances. So if I'm doing a sweep range, right, I do it here, I'll get grabbed, right? So we know that sweep range is always going to get me grabbed, no matter what. So we want to make sure that we're working outside of the sweep range. And use the squares, you know. Use that as a visual aid. You know, right now we're probably within like two blocks, you know, 2 blocks worth. So if I put him here by this white line, was what it is, right? If I put him there, I put myself here, right? That's going to be the range where I'm going to more than likely get grabbed if I do it. Now if I go outside of that, you can't grab it. So use that as the visual aid. That's the whole point of, you know, why that's there, so you understand the range. And then it becomes eventually an instinctual habit. So when you know how to do that, then start going for the punch. So you understand, you know. And a lot of times you can also do this too, you know, like this is why it's great to do it this way. Then, say you do get a hit, right? Go for a full charge one. You might do this, full charge. Now you're in, right? Then you can just go for overhead. You know, that's the whole point. That's what, you know. That's what you want to do. You want to practice it that way. So yeah, so use that as a visual aid and practice that. Okay. With this here, because it's a frame trap, you can get crouching hard punch, you can get back medium punch, depending on what you want to do, right? Now, you build a pretty good V-meter off of this, and you want to make sure that you're paying attention to your V-meter. So, you know, if you want to go for the crush counter, you can. A lot of times, crush counter can give you less damage. But, so you have to like decide, okay, do I want to go for corner carry or crush counter to build V-meter, right? That gave me 217 damage, 320 stun. $270, 406 stun. So we got a little bit more stun, a little bit more damage, and it wouldn't give me the corner carry unless I had done it this way. 279. So always keep that in mind. If you know your opponent's going to press a button, you know, go for the crush counter. Because what it does is, you know, it makes your opponent have to be more careful. If they get crush countered, they're going to be more careful the next time. They won't try to disrespect you and try to press the button in between. So then, if say that does happen, right, you can go for a grab or you can go for a shimmy, or you can do what I was saying, is this until they figure out, you know what I mean. Then you're getting into their head at that point. So you want to incorporate the crouching hard punch, or if you want to go simple, go back medium, because at least with back medium punch, if you do EX fireball, you'll be safe, right? You'll be +1, and you create a little space in between. So you don't ever want to just do this and then you get grabbed or you get opened up. because this is minus 13. So always remember that, and that could be very detrimental in losing the round. So just do that. And that's all you gotta do. That's it. So practice that. Have the computer block, do grab. You want to work on that. So we went over quick rise, we went over back recovery, we went over anti-air options, we went over V-skill options. Okay, those are the things you want to look for in the match. When you're playing in the match, that's how you want to incorporate something. That's how you want to kind of diagnose the player, see how they react, what are they doing, you know what I mean? Like, you want to collect as much information you can in the match, during the match. And this will also help you learn to adapt. Adaptation is kind of something you got to be patient. It takes a while to learn to adapt. So, but those are the things you got to do to see how your opponent reacts, so then you can collect information. So you're just like, okay, I did this, this is how they reacted. You know, that's why I always say 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So you're kind of you're reassessing what's going on. You're just like, okay, well, I just went in, I did overhead, but then this next time I did a setup and he blocked. Okay. All right. Well, that's my cue. That should be my cue mentally to let me know. All right, back off a little. Let's just chill right here. We don't need to walk all the way back to the corner. What that means is, okay, block, I'm gonna wait right here. Let's see what you're gonna do. Maybe I'll go in and do this. Maybe I'll go in and wait. I'm gonna be ready to jump. I'm gonna be ready to deep. I'm gonna be ready if he's gonna dash in. I'm gonna be ready to jab. Okay. So, because you got to be careful, because you have to also be aware of their meter. You have to also be aware of their V meter. They may try to crush or crouching hard kick sweep into V-Trigger. So just have to be mindful of what's going on in the match. Don't always feel like, okay, there are times where you might steamroll somebody. You might just completely dominate them. But that's not always going to happen. So it's always better to reassess what is your opponent going to do, because what if they wake up EXDP, and you're just going for offensive pressure, then by you waiting, you are being rewarded because you knew something was going to happen next. That's why they have EXDP. So incorporate that in your training, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. So that's my basic part 1 for Ken on what you should have, what you should be doing, what you should be practicing in the training room. That's how you should. These are the tools that you need to be successful in winning your matches. All right. Now there are things that come in, that you will learn eventually, like matchup knowledge and stuff. But you'll learn that over time. You just need to focus on your OK setups, because then that will come later. The matchup knowledge stuff will come later. So, but these are the basic fundamentals that you need to be doing with Ken. All right, guys. All right. Well, I'll catch y'all later. Thank you for tuning in. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I do stream almost every day. You can check my schedule on my Twitch channel, but we generally will stream Wednesday through Sunday, so usually in the evening. All right, guys. All right, well, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks again. You guys are the best, and I'll see you later. All right, guys. Peace.